Hello everybody, this is OpenWorldAddict here. I just want to note that this is being streamed live on Twitch to be ported over later to YouTube. So occasionally I will be responding to people in Twitch chat. But I'm going to try to maintain focus so that my attention is not just on them, but also any of you who are watching this later on YouTube. Anyway, today I am starting a new series of videos where I'm going to be showing off my own character builds, but also for Dungeons and Dragons, but also character concepts along with those builds, while I create pre-generated characters for specific campaigns, like Waterdeep Dragon Heist, which is something that I haven't seen online so far, and this is something that I would like to do, something that I would like to contribute. Because having pre-generated characters that are available for all of the published campaigns would make picking up one of those campaigns much easier for newer players, as well as may give some experienced players a little bit of a break and something enticing that they may just want to jump into. So I have been looking online for ways to come up with ideas for character concepts. I am a very creative person, but my creativity doesn't come from nothing. And like, if I'm asked to do something creative and not giving anything that I could use as a foundation to build on top of, I come up with nothing. I run into a brain fart or like a mental wall with no ideas coming out because I have nothing to base those ideas around. I'm a very creative person, but I need a foundation for that creativity to run free, for something to build around it, for those creative juices to flow. And I've been looking for those things on YouTube and Reddit and stuff like that and found nothing. So I decided to come up with my own method for creating a character concept that will help people like me come up with a foundation. And this is something also that I want to share. For other people who maybe have trouble coming up with a character concept, or other people like me who are very much into creating builds and doing that, doing this type of character and that kind of character, and there's a lot of stuff mechanical, but ends up with this character that might seem a lot of fun mechanically, that you have trouble telling who that character is because you really don't have a narrative concept for the character. And once I've already done all the work mechanically, I feel like narratively my ideas just dry up. So I'm gonna write my own method. I'm gonna post it somewhere. I'm going to definitely post it in a Word document on my Discord, but I might post it on, right? If I can get a website working, and this is something I might post on the website or something. But anyway. So my method for creating a character. And step one, and I'm keeping all this in Notion. I'm also going to put together the character concept in Notion because it's easier to keep all this stuff organized than create individual Word documents. So, step one is choosing a background. And this is the first part of what I call the foundation for the character concept. And we have all these backgrounds to choose from. Now, since I am, for the most part, the characters that I am going to be creating are from the pre-generated characters are gonna be for campaigns that are set in the Forgotten Realms. And I am gonna restrict the sources from the player's handbook and Swordcraft Adventurer's Guide. So, those are the only two sources that I'm going to say we can use for. Step one is to pick a character background, and we're not looking at the mechanics of the character background or the features that the background gives you. We're looking at the flavor text. And by reading the flavor text of each character background, we are picking one that stands out to us. Picking one that sounds like sounds like a fun background to play off of. Once we pick the background, oh, sorry. This is the character background. You know what? I'm going to try to change that so that I don't have to remember just turn these on and off when I want to switch. Anyway, these are the character backgrounds. I'm restricting them to the Swordcraft Adventurer's Guide and the Player's Handbook. And we are not going to look at, as I said, the skill proficiency, the languages, equipment, features, whatever. That's all mechanics. We're going to look at the flavor text, which is on top of each background. So we're going to look through those backgrounds and pick a background. Then the second step is with the background, we are going to choose a class that either fits or kind of conflicts but not clashes the background. We do want to restrict ourselves because by limiting our options, that really helps. Many times people say less and more. If you try to think of all the background class combinations, you might get overwhelmed. But what we want to do is pick a class that sounds like it would either be fitting for a character with that background or kind of conflicting, meaning being opposite of what the background is without clashing. Let's turn it down. Pick a class that fits or conflicts the background but not clashes. So what I mean by clashing is that a background, the class that clashes the background is a class that, well, this character might not have that background because of the type of character class that they are, which kind of represents, where they originated. A barbarian originates from the wilds, not really in the middle of civilization, not in a city, maybe in a small town, maybe on a farm or something out on the edges of the fringes. And same thing with a druid or ranger. And so something like a criminal or an entertainer or a noble or there's a so let's say a barbarian. Noble, not exactly, but like an inheritor. That would kind of conflict the idea of a barbarian. A knight would definitely conflict with the idea of a barbarian. And these are concepts that come from cities and towns and not really from tribal settings. And so, and that's what I mean, not to pick something that conflicts but not clashes. And an idea that a background, a class that conflicts with the background but does not clash. A great example of that, and I think this is what we're going to be using for our first character, is a paladin that has a background of a criminal. And this is a conflict because a paladin is like a force of lawful goodness. They are a force of people who want to do right. But a criminal, of course, is someone that commits crimes, that wrongs people. But a perfect, like, a redemption paladin, and having a criminal background, that's all, that whole concept already, there's a story from that. And that's the kind of thing we actually want. That creates some inner conflict. And that's already a good foundation of a character concept. And this is what you're going to be doing. You're going to, with these two alone, it's going to create your character concept foundation. and that will help you derive an inner conflict for your character, and as well as a character goal. The third thing you want to pick with your character, after you pick those first two, you want to pick your race, because your race can also help you pick, especially if you focus on and look for really the lore and the description, the old lore, the old descriptions, changing the lore, which I don't like, because that actually reducing what's written and what a race is like actually restricts creativity, because it gives you less to work off of. So, going into those racial descriptions, what a dragonborn is like, what a hill dwarf is like, what a wood elf is like, going off of those racial descriptions will help you also formulate what your character is like. So, picking race and works with the chosen. Class or background. It doesn't have to fit the class entirely, it could also fit the background, and then it can be molded to fit the class using custom origin. But so that is the third step. And then using those three as your foundation, the next step is answering these questions. What is your character's goal? And this does not have to be strictly defined. You can add to this as you create your character background, but you want to have a general what your character's goal is. And actually, that's the second thing you want to create. Answer. What is your character's inner conflict? Because this is what makes a character interesting. This is what's character interesting, and this is like you can find anything that conflicts with each other. Like if your race conflicts with your character's choice of class, or your character's background, or maybe your background conflicts with your choice of class. Just find something that conflicts with something else that you have chosen, and that can be your character's inner conflict, which is where an inner conflict is where all great character stories come from. And it could be the driving force of your character's goal. And so that is the method I'm going to be. You don't want to be too detailed in creating a character concept. because a character concept is not a background. It's something that you can even give to other DMs and saying this will be an interesting character, not just for the other players, but also for the DM to work with. And so this is the method that I'm going to be using. So now that we now that we've decided the method, I am going to start working on my first pre-generated character. And I think I'm going to pause the timer. Because even though I still had 28 minutes on the clock, I think this is a good time to put in a pause so that we can have another 50 minutes just to work on the first character. So I will create this is where I will put a cut in the first video. So if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching this. Hope you enjoyed the next few videos of the series. And I hope to see you in the next one. So for those of you on YouTube, have a great day. Everyone, this is OpenWorldAddict out.